Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 4 to 5. Eric, Sydney, Chad, Tim with you today.
You do that so well.
By
the way, I just wanted to point that out. I mean,
it's
boom, 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 boom.
Years of practice.
Good to see you all.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the beginning of a joke. How many meteorologists does it take to
Screw in a light bulb.
to talk about smoke?
Yeah. Well, look at it behind us. So this is actually a time lapse of the hazy sky in Winston-Salem from those Canadian wildfires. I think a lot of people wondering, why is it back and how long will it be here?
It's very noticeable, isn't it? Everybody can see this when you're outside. You might even be able to smell it. So we're going to talk to you about what's going on and kind of where we go from here. So over the last little bit, we've been dealing with the smoky sky, and right now we're looking at the latest air quality numbers. Earlier this morning, they were in the orange and red category, but right now we're starting to see some improvement. Now this yellow shade is popping up, and what that means is that air quality is starting to improve a little bit. Some of the smoke has thinned out. We're still in that moderate range for air quality, which is not great, but it's better than where we've been. And you can even see the difference live on our sky cameras. It's just a little bit clearer than it has been. Over the next little bit, we are still going to see some smoke in the sky through tonight and into early tomorrow morning. But I got to tell you, by tomorrow afternoon, I do not think you're going to be able to notice this around our area. It will be more of a normal summer sky, which always has some haze to it, but it shouldn't be all that hazardous to anybody's health. Moderate air quality for tomorrow. For Wednesday, that's going to be the forecast for you. And honestly, we're going to start to turn our attention more to the weather, which could feature a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Eric Chilton, that's what we're looking at for the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about summertime, we always see that slight, at least a 30 to 40% chance of a late day pop-up storm, and that will return, although it leaves again for the weekend, and we're fairly dry. Temperatures right now, 88 degrees in Greensboro. We've got some low 90s too. Burlington at 90 even, 92 in High Point, Lexington at 89. Winds haven't really helped us a whole lot, have they? Because they've been so calm, anything from calm to about 5 miles per hour, thereabouts. So it doesn't help and make it feel much cooler. We'll look for overnight lows tonight around 70 with clear skies. High temperatures still in the low 90s tomorrow, but that rain chance, as we talked about, there is a slight chance. And we see a little bit, you look now close to Wilkes County, we see a little bit of a pop-up shower there, and that is normal. Anytime you see temperatures upper 80s, low 90s, we can't rule it out. It's just by the time the cold front moves through that you see on the screen there for this weekend, we'll dry out a little bit and cool down finally below normal temperatures for Saturday and Sunday.
It's crazy how much this impacts everybody every time that it happens.
Right.
And it's not just us. We live here, certainly, so we pay attention to here. But I was just on an airplane the other day and kind of flew over parts of Canada, over into Chicago. When we landed in Chicago, you couldn't see the skyline there. It was that smoky, just being a couple miles away at the airport. So it's impacting a large portion of the country. And when you can expect this to happen is whenever we get a north or a west wind. So that's kind of blowing in these fire smokes from Canada, which they're still going on. And there are just too many of them, and they're too big and they're too remote to really put them out.
It's funny, one of the things I read is that it's happening in areas where there aren't a lot of people, right? It's kind of all the wilderness. And so they kind of let it do its thing and just monitor cities and towns around the edges, because a lot of folks are like, well, why is this still going on? Well, there's no need to really stop it. And to be honest, it's actually part of the ecological system too. When you get a lightning strike or anything that causes a wildfire, it's kind of Mother Nature's way of adding nutrients back into the soil. There's a whole ecosystem cycle to this thing.
There were definitely times when I was out and about and I thought it was my eyes, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? It wasn't really as heavy at that time, but then, obviously as we continue on and looking at the weather and monitoring that, you're like, oh, okay, it's the hazy skies. It's not my eyes. I feel better.
Real quick, we got an email last night from a viewer, one of our weather watchers, and he said, Tim, I think I see a planet in the sky tonight. And it was the sun. It was literally just the sun, because it looks so weird at sunset being all red and kind of muted. It's not something we're used to, and we'd like to get rid of this, but we're kind of have to deal with it the rest of the summer.
Yeah, and the heat as well. As you've heard, about 68 million Americans are under some kind of heat alert right now. More than a dozen states are seeing triple-digit temperatures. It's so bad the weather is now straining power grids.
Sail Princess there, 92 degrees, and that's one of our cooler readings.
Arizona woke up hot and headed straight for another record breaker. Now 19 consecutive days and counting above 110 degrees.
Read them and weep, people. More of the weeping going on for sure.
That heat can pose serious dangers for the vulnerable, like those without housing.
Some ice cold water, a hat, some sunscreen, anything like that is a lifeline for people in need.
Arizona's power grid is holding its own, but Californians are urged to conserve and keep that thermostat at 78 degrees to avoid potential blackout.
When you've got really hot temperatures that don't cool down at night, that can be really taxing on the electrical equipment.
When the nighttime temperatures don't cool down and things stay hotter longer, people also stay hotter longer.
Julie Tartan is leading the effort to build the National Integrated Heat Health Information System and says summers like this one could be here to stay.
The reality is we are expecting every part of the United States and most parts of the world to have increased heat waves, increased heat events.
Basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal cooled off in Hawaii, but it's the calm before the storm. As Tropical Storm Calvin approaches, residents are advised to be prepared.
Make sure they have their go kits, their safety kits for their homes, whether that be lights and water and things like that.
Good advice to be ready for any kind of weather. Ian Schwartz, CBS News, Phoenix, Arizona.
Right now, Samaritan's Purse is helping with recovery in New York. The North Carolina-based organization sent a disaster relief unit to Highland Falls over the weekend to help clear storm damage and spray for mold in homes. So far, they've helped more than 40 families. Meanwhile, the Greensboro Fire Department's Swift Water Rescue Team is back home. For the last 2 weeks, the 8-member crew has been up north helping with search and rescues in Vermont. Much of the state is dealing with flooding from torrential rain.
All right, time for your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, the Guilford County School Board will determine tonight the fate of its middle college at Bennett. The district wants to close it for good, blaming low enrollment and conflicting class schedules. The school wasn't even open last year. We'll let you know what happens.
In Greensboro, Guilford Crime Stoppers is offering a $5,000 reward for help finding a stolen puppy right here on your screen. This is a photo of an 11-month-old French bulldog named Asta. Crime Stoppers says the dog was taken from the Animal Medical Center in Greensboro. It happened about 3 weeks ago. No details have been released exactly on how the dog was stolen.
Don't be alarmed if you see smoke coming out of the storm drain over the coming days. The city of Greensboro will be using smoke to test sewer lines in the Glenwood neighborhood. The red streets you see are impacted. You can check the city's website for a clear picture of that. Experts will use non-toxic smoke to expose any breaks in the sewer system. Ahead of time, the city is recommending people who live in Glenwood to pour a gallon of water into every sink, tub, and floor drain that's not used on a daily basis. Testing will last for about a week.
All right, well, check this out. It's the picture of the State Highway Patrol submitted for the nationwide Best Looking Cruiser contest. This year's photo pays homage to the North Wilkesboro Speedway and those cruisers you love to run into on the highway, right? Well, North Carolina troopers need your help to win. You can cast your vote for the country's best cruiser by going to the Highway Patrol's Facebook and clicking the survey link. Those that place in the top 13 positions will have their state's photo featured in a 2024 calendar. The contest runs through the end of the month, and maybe we can keep that up just a little bit longer. It's right there behind us as well, too. So interesting to know that this exists and this type of contest as well. I was able to scroll through it earlier myself, and to be able to see the different custom designs on the different cruisers there, that's easy to miss when you're driving along the highway.
I love the old school one that looked like something from the 1940s or something. That's really cool, the way they used to look.
I remember a few years ago they did a photo of it was the State Highway Patrol vehicle in front of, I think it was Pilot Mountain, and then they had like a helicopter right behind the car flying. And it was just so cool.
Wow.
That was the best one I've seen.
Was it? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's Florida, of course.
Yeah.
FHP there. Yeah, they run into that quite a bit. I mean, there's some mean looking machines on these.
So are they taking like scenery into account as well too?
Yes.
So it's all of that, okay.
Whatever that state is known for.
Nice little touch, interesting.
That's cool. Well, good luck to them.
Yeah.
All right, the Greensboro Fire Department's Camp Spark kicked off this week. The free camp for high school girls allows them to see what it's like in what's traditionally a male-dominated profession. Campers are learning the basics of firefighting, plus positive attitudes and leadership.
The instructors are really great. They're really understanding. You get free snacks, free food. That's always a bonus. They have new stuff every year.
You can already sign up for next year's camp.
That's a great idea. Have you ever put the gear on before for any live stuff? So I did it once. We did something when I was on the Good Morning Show. The whole team went out there and they put us in everything. And it was summer.
It's the opposite of cool.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hot.
It was,
Well,
Right, yeah.
I mean, just the opportunity
Oh,
to
no,
be
it
able
was.
to try
I was
it
just
is cool.
messing
But
with
no,
you.
yeah, but yeah.
it was the weight that got me. I mean, yes, of course the uniforms are hot, but the actual weight of the tank and all that gear, and then when you
Yeah.
put that face mask on, it's kind of claustrophobic. Those guys are the real deal.
And just a cool opportunity to meet other women and girls as well too that are interested or may be interested in the same profession. You're out there meeting friends and just having a ball, having a fun time and enjoying it too.
And where else can you like learn how to do all that stuff
Nowhere.
besides a camp like this? I mean, that's, I mean, look at they're enjoying just getting wet out there.
Where's the fire hydrant?
Cooling down.
That's what you want. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. You know, there's a holiday institution. Usually we think about Winston-Salem when we talk about the Nutcracker, but guess what? It's coming to Greensboro this year. The UNC School of the Arts has presented the Nutcracker every year since 1966, but this year they will visit the Tanger Center. Now, I spoke with the Dean of the School of Dance, Indolin Taylor Outlaw, about this opportunity. Well, anybody that loves dance knows everything about the Nutcracker. Indolin's with us. This is so cool that now we get to expose. Some folks in Greensboro haven't seen this yet, so talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, so we're extremely excited to be bringing our Nutcracker suite to Greensboro as a result of our beloved Stevens Center, which is downtown Winston-Salem, going under renovation in November. So this will be the first time that our Nutcracker will come to Greensboro, and we'll be bringing approximately 100 ballet students to perform over the span of the weekend. We open on December 7th and we go until December 10th. We have matinees, we have a special show for children, and it's a wonderful family outing. There's something for everyone.
You know, this venue too is so fresh and so beautiful. I mean, that's gotta help. I would think when the dancers walk in, they'll be pretty excited.
I think so. You know, this is the type of place that you dream of performing in, even as a professional. So to be able to provide this opportunity for our students in their learning years as a learning outcome is phenomenal. It's something that can go on their resume, and it's something that I really do believe is will be valued for years to come in their minds and in their lives as they move forward.
You know, that's a big part of it too. I think as think about that age group and as a dancer to perform something so iconic, how do you keep that fresh for dancers?
Well, I think the thing about the Nutcracker, where it stays fresh for dancers and for the audience, is that there are always ways to change it up and freshen it and still hold on to the things that really make it so much of a tradition. You know, to have Mother Ginger and to tweak it a little bit, you know, to keep the humor fresh and alive. And then our cast changed too over the run as well as over the years. So if you're a 4-year student, you could do several different roles in the Nutcracker during your time.
It's such a great thing. We're so excited. Thank you for coming over. We
Thank
can't wait
you.
to see you.
Wow, Eric,
It's
that's
great.
awesome.
I mean, tell me, I want you to, you were talking to me earlier, tell your story, because this is so cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, so as a little girl, first of all, I got to hurry up and buy my tickets because
Yes.
I'm excited about it. But as a little girl, my grandma would always invite me and my sister and my little cousin. We would always go see the Nutcracker since we were little girls. And I mean, once I saw that it was, you know, being promoted here in Greensboro and coming to the Tanger Center, my grandma was here with me this past weekend and she was able to see all of the posters. And I was like, we have to go.
Gotta go.
We have to go. So it brings back a lot of memories.
I have never seen the Nutcracker.
Okay.
So good.
Me either. And I'm ashamed to admit it. Not all, okay,
Well.
I've seen TV versions and movie, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen it all the way through in person. I've seen excerpts and things, but I've got to see it all the way through.
Well, take my word for it. It is definitely an experience. And I mean, you know, obviously you got to have a lot of talent out there on this stage to even be a part of the Nutcracker. Lots of practice, I'm sure a lot of these men and women go through, but it is an amazing experience. You guys got to do it.
We could go with you and your grandma.
Yes,
Oh my
we
gosh,
could.
she would love, she would literally love that.
It'd be awesome. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
She's a good time.
And such a cool opportunity for them to be able to perform on the Tanger Center
Yes,
stage. I
Right.
mean,
yes.
even while you were doing that interview, I was so distracted by the backdrop because
beautiful.
it looks like a
Gorgeous.
painting. It doesn't look
It does.
real.
It's so true. All right, check the story on our
Vibrant.
website right now for all the information to buy tickets. We'll be back. You know, I would say we're in a pattern, but we're kind of all over the place with temperatures. For a while, we're low 90s, then we'll drop back down to 80s, back up to 90 again. The big break for us comes this weekend, and that is Saturday, Sunday, below normal temperatures, probably lower humidities and reduced rain chances, so it looks good. This weekend is perfect. Tonight, skies will be clear, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. We will see a late day pop-up isolated storm or shower. It's kind of normal this time of the year. Anytime we get in the upper 80s to low 90s, that's what we expect to see. We see a little bit of that right now. You can see that's really closer to Lenoir County toward Hickory, but maybe southern Wilkes County might get a little bit of that thunderstorm as it works its way through. The majority of this lies back to our west and our north. And if you look at our surface chart here, the little black broken line, that just represents a kind of an area of instability. It's a trough, we call it. But as that moves by for Wednesday, that's how it could spark a couple of extra showers or thunderstorms, still widely scattered, not a big event at all. In fact, the highest rain chance we see in the 7-day is 40% chance. And then that second cold front you see to the north, that's the game changer for us as we head into the weekend. You look at our 7-day forecast, we're at 90 tomorrow with a 40% chance of late day thunderstorms, and we'll drop it down to the upper 80s, but again, that's normal for us, right? Thursday and Friday. The difference, Thursday we think that front will start to push through, then Friday rain chances drop to 20%. Look at Saturday, Sunday. Lower humidities, mid 80s, 20% chance of a shower. Next week back to normal and in the upper 80s.
New York, New York. The Big Apple is booming, of course.
Of course, but I mean, it's kind of getting even better for them. New York is expected to attract almost as many tourists this year than before the pandemic. And for visitors, there are plenty of new places to stay.
Craig and Judy Pluta, who live near Milwaukee, recently visited New York City, taking in Times Square.
It seems like everything is back, vibrant. People look like they're having a very good time.
They're two of more than 63 million tourists expected to visit New York this year, compared to over 66 million in 2019. They're finding neighborhoods with dozens of new hotel options, including the Wall Street Hotel in the financial district. The historic building offers both city and East River views, an old-school bar, French brasserie with romantic nooks, and plenty of pearls because of its owner, the Paspali Group, an Australian family.
The South Sea pearling industry is actually what they are fundamentally known for, and essentially what they wanted to bring to life here in New York City as well.
This is one of the rooms at another new option, Barrier Phuquet's New York. It brings a touch of Paris to the city that never sleeps.
Lavender brightens the rooftop restaurant. There's a French pillow mist and bath products, and new takes on classic French pastries at Brasserie Phuquet's. Plus a spa and a movie theater in the shadow of the rebuilt World Trade Center.
Tribeca was lacking a great hotel. We needed something to bring this neighborhood to life.
Virgin Hotels New York City is bringing life to the Nomad District with its daily entertainment offerings and just under 1 million square feet of space, including an expansive rooftop terrace and pool club looking up at the Empire State Building.
Once you walk in the door, there's this very playful vibe and there's something for everyone.
That translates into bursts of color, funky artwork, and mini bar offering of a couples kit as day turns to night.
So we're not surprised it's booming,
No.
right? It's New York.
I love New York.
Mhm.
Love it.
And I love that, you can just really get anything that you're looking for as far as inspiration, right? So they had the hotel that was French inspired, and then they've got the place with the pearls. I can't even remember what this is.
I know.
But,
There's so many.
I mean, it's great that you can go there and really experience any type of culture you want.
I've never been.
I
You're
know.
waiting on me to say
I'm
that I've
waiting on you.
never been to New York, but no
Gotta go.
worries, everyone. It will happen
worries.
it will happen very soon. I mean, and then once I do go, I mean, so
You'll love it.
I feel like I'll get so lost in a good way.
It's wonderful, and really, you have to stay there a while to see much of it because it's just so much. My tip to you is when you go to see Broadway shows, I think we've talked about this in the past, if you go to the back alleys between the theaters, they have roped off sections and all the stars come out, and for a hot minute, I mean, it literally is about 45 seconds to say hello, and you can go from one to the next. I met Harry Connick Jr. and Angela Bassett, Neil Patrick Harris, all in one little walk.
My mother and father, they both went to New York to go see Hamilton.
Oh.
And I think they were talking about it for a week after that. I felt like I was there at that
phenomenal.
point. But they enjoyed it. Great experience. So.
Very good. Check it out. All right, we're going to take a break. We're coming right back. Welcome back to the second half. We already had halftime. That was halftime.
Did you see our halftime performance?
It was fabulous.
You
wasn't it?
missed it.
It's all sponsors.
And you can only watch if you're on the Facebook Live watching us there.
Exactly right.
It's a great place to be. It really, really is.
Yes, it is. Hey, did you see the president's plane in Greensboro this afternoon? You might have seen it for a while, actually. I shot this video as the plane formerly known as Air Force One did touch and goes at PTI Airport today. Now, this type of training actually happens rather often here because we're not far from DC. PTI has a long runway and air traffic at the airport isn't as busy as bigger airports. Now, this maneuver is called a touch and go because the plane will touch the runway while landing, then take off again without making a full stop. They'll complete the process several times. Have you guys ever seen that? It's so cool to see that.
I've seen it. I want to see it do it. I've only seen it in the sky from a distance. I want to see it do that. It's massive.
Never in person, but on like social media and videos and things of that nature.
The first time it happened today, it must have been landing right over my house. And I was like, there's something happening. Something is going to hit the house because it was so loud. Because those things are just huge.
It's massive. You said formerly known as, so that means it's not the active Air Force One, right?
Right. So like technically the president has to be on the plane to be Air Force One.
That's right.
So I don't know the name of what it is today, but I mean until the president's on it, it's not Air Force One.
It's like the artist formerly known as Prince. It's just a symbol now.
Yes.
Right.
All right, well, we got a lot to talk about in this half hour. Potentially a new casino coming to the Triad, the strikes happening across the country, plus a weird tradition from across the pond. But first, it's the big conversation today, Chad. $1.6 billion is up for grabs between the Powerball and Mega Millions lottery. No one bought a winning ticket in last night's $922 million Powerball jackpot, so the prize for Wednesday's drawing will be more than $1 billion. The cash value for the drawing, about $516 million.
And tonight's a big night for the Mega Millions, which is sitting at $640 million. We met several people today trying their luck.
If it's still going, there's a lot of money out there. Just buy them, because you can't win if you don't buy it.
I want to get that extra money. That's the reason why I want this ticket. Yeah, $1 billion, it'll change a whole lot of people's lives there.
Well, tomorrow night's Powerball jackpot will be the third largest in game history. You might remember last year's record-breaking jackpot, just over $2 billion.
Wow, tonight's Mega Millions drawing is at 11 p.m.
All right, so time for us to play a game of trivia here. How well do you know your lottery history? I don't know history that well.
I don't know any of it.
I don't think I do either. All right,
I was going to say, I'm just going to cheer you guys on.
That's right. That's
no,
right.
it's us.
We're
against each other here.
You guys are guessing here.
I know, I was going to have him switch roles with me. I'm like, let me
be the host.
Yes.
I won't know any of these either. All right, can you guess the year of America's first lottery?
1971.
Okay, I was going to go 1963.
Aaron, say that again. I thought he was like 1720. What?
We're way off.
I mean,
I bet the jackpot was $5.
That jackpot has been building ever since then.
I could buy a house.
It was like one piece of stone.
Right. All right, so how about this? Guess the percent of people who say they will quit their job if they win.
Wait, you didn't tell us the answer to the last one.
Wait, what? I did 1720.
Oh, I thought you were joking.
That's right. I thought he was joking too. He said no, the year was 1720.
Oh.
Wow.
So that you probably did win like a piece of stone.
Well, it was like, that's why I said it's probably $5 and that would buy you a horse and a house or something. All right, the percentage of people who say they will quit their job if they win.
90?
Okay, I'm going to go with 50%.
Yeah, I would have said 60-ish. But say that again, Aaron. I just want to make sure.
This is our producer telling him the answers.
Yeah, he's telling.
How do we know that he's right? I'm
52%. 52. I thought it'd be way
52.
higher than that.
I think it's people are lying when they say
I
that.
think so too.
I think it's much higher.
Really?
I mean,
I don't.
think. I mean, I wouldn't like quit right away, but it's nice to know
like the next day,
that you could maybe give me a week. No, I think it's nice to know that you could leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Walk out the door. All right, so this is the last one, Chad. You're getting sick. Guess the lottery ball that's been drawn the most. I guess the number is what that would be.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. Actually, I'm gonna let you go first.
18.
I was gonna say 11.
38 is the one that's drawn the most. Now, does that mean you should go? I guess you should go with 38 as one of your numbers then, if that's the case. if it's drawing the most.
Yeah.
But there's no rhyme or reason to that.
And you're not going to win.
Now the lottery experts are going to listen to this and take 38 out of it.
Right.
We're going to make sure that doesn't happen.
I just want to know, well, for one time in my life, would it be so funny to be the person that draws the, like live, does the balls and puts them up there? I think that'd be
And then
hilarious.
if you like dropped it.
Oh, how horrible.
Everybody is watching.
And someone saw it, was like, I know it was 14, but it fell back in. Oh,
yeah, but now it looks like 18.
Controversy. All right, let's talk about our forecast, shall we? I still couldn't believe 1720. I was like, I need background.
1720.
I need background on that, Aaron. I need to know what the heck that was all about, because I didn't know that was a thing. All right, so 88 degrees right now in the Triad, and then 93 in Charlotte, Fayetteville 92, Raleigh 93. It's really hot down east, isn't it? And we're lucky. In fact, look at Boone, though, comfortable 78. They're always comfortable there. Same reading at Cape Hatteras, by the way. So a little bit warm. We do see a couple of showers starting to develop back to the west. Most of it is just between Wilkesboro and Hickory. It is sinking back to the south and to the east, but not a lot of that will probably translate across the Triad, but we have to keep a 20% chance in just in case, because anytime we get that warm, it doesn't take a lot of lift to get a thunderstorm or so. Next front moves through, so two systems here basically. The black broken line you see here is a trough. Basically that just means an area of instability. That moves through on Wednesday afternoon, so that helps us with a chance of a shower. We might even see a morning shower tomorrow, but more likely in the late afternoon or early evening. And then that next cold front, that really moves through. That's kind of the game changer for us, because that allows us to cool back in below normal for a change as we head into the weekend. So to recap here, we're within a degree or so of 90 for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Rain chances Wednesday, Thursday is a 40% chance. Friday, 20%, and we're dry for the weekend. And with the passage of that cold front, probably lower humidities, mid-80s Saturday, Sunday. Beautiful weekend. Next week, back to normal, 30% chance of a late day shower in upper 80s.
Eric, thank you. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. In about an hour, the Guilford County School Board will decide if the Middle College at Bennett will close. The status of the Middle College at the historically black women's school has been in limbo for a while now. Its schedule doesn't match up with GCS's school calendar anymore. The meeting starts at 5. We'll be sure to keep you updated on the details in our later shows and WFMYnews2.com.
The Teacher Supply Warehouse in Guilford County reopened today. As you might know, GCS teachers can shop for all sorts of classroom supplies for free.
Teachers are excited and thrilled to be able to find all the supplies that they need here, and that they're all free. That's always such a surprise to them.
Now, if you'd like to help, you can actually donate new or gently used supplies to the warehouse.
Students need mental health support. The Alamance Burlington school system is stepping up by holding a mental health summit today. The school's partnered with mental health agencies to provide mental health services for free. A counselor said the services specialize in guiding parents with helping kids after the loss of a loved one.
Children are so often overlooked. Everybody assumes they know what's going on, but often they are the ones who are the most left out. So we can guide parents in how to explain what death is, to get them the support they need.
The school system also provides services for teachers and staff.
There could soon be a casino in Rockingham County. A company called NC Development Holdings filed a request to rezone 200 acres of land off Highway 220. The company has ties to a casino developer from Maryland, but it doesn't say how it plans to use the land. Rockingham County commissioners are expected to discuss the idea next month. Senate leader and Rockingham County lawmaker Phil Berger is pushing to expand legalized gambling in our state. He says he expects movement on the idea this session. The site is about an hour from the Danville Casino. Caesars opened a temporary facility in May ahead of its full casino and resort, which opens late next year. Boy, before the Danville Casino, it was like we were not talking about gambling, casinos, nothing, and now it's like they've opened the floodgates for it.
And you know, once I've been talking with over the years, when the idea first came up that hey, we might make gambling legal in North Carolina, immediately all the money people in the state were clamoring, talking with each other, trying to figure out. So this is the first of many. You just wait. There'll be every county probably will have something, or at least every other county.
I mean, and even since, you know, with the Danville Casino opening, I mean, how many conversations have people had about them being excited about going and attending? I've been out myself, just out around in the Triad. I would bump into people because I love making new friends, and folks would immediately start talking about going up and taking you know, a road trip up to you know, the Virginia area.
All right, you want the lottery info? I dug it up.
Oh yeah.
1720 in Philadelphia. I think it was put on by the newspaper. The cost was $1 to enter, which looks like it's about $1/8 of a dollar, whatever that would 12 cents, 16 cents, and you'd want a new brick house if you won.
Wow.
Okay.
Which in 1720 would be a pretty big deal.
amazing.
Yeah, like how now you can win $1 billion, and that would be amazing, right?
You could buy a couple houses. With
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
We're coming back.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders visited the White House to meet with President Biden and labor organizers. They discussed ways to increase membership in unions. The meeting took place as entertainment unions representing actors and writers have shut down film and TV production, and UPS drivers could also walk off the job.
As some business owners are closely watching the UPS situation, they're wondering how a strike could affect their bottom line.
Gabe Colaseri's celebrating 1 year at the kitchen in Sussex, where staff's like family to him.
I'm the grandfather. So you got any problems, you come to me and you tell me what you need, I'll go out and get it.
It's a local farm-to-table kind of restaurant, but they buy their kitchen supplies online.
Once they scratch, they're no good anymore. If a frying pan isn't cooking right, the customer isn't going to be happy.
Colaseri just ordered 16 new frying pans.
I hope they don't go out on strike because that could affect my business.
In Milwaukee, restaurant developer Omar Shak's got concerns too.
Obviously, the food is not really coming from there, but a lot of the office supplies.
Shaq places online orders several times a week, and a UPS strike could slow things down.
It's not a positive thing, and we're just going to have to pivot from there. We'll figure that out when the time comes, but it certainly hopes that doesn't happen.
UPS is trying to train non-union workers should a strike happen, but industry experts are skeptical they could keep up. It's not just restaurants. The last UPS strike in the 90s also had a big impact on travel.
It was a big fiasco back 25 years ago. I can only imagine it's going to be with this passport situation even as bad.
Passport processing times are already slow. A UPS strike could make that even worse.
So we're telling people if you don't have your passport and you are planning an international trip, certainly pay for the expediting service. And again, that may involve a UPS truck.
Meanwhile, it could take a while for the film industry to come to terms. SAG-AFTRA writers and actors were spotted on the picket lines in New York. The workers emphasized unity between writers who have been on the lines for more than 2 months and performers who are only on day 2 of striking. Kevin Bacon was one of the famous faces picketing outside Viacom's headquarters.
You know, you can't underestimate, and when it starts to go away and when there starts to be less and less to see, you know, and when you're stuck with just game shows or just reality television, I think people are going to miss it.
This is a righteous fight. Anyone who does some due diligence and research on what it is that we're asking for and what it is that they were unwilling to give will understand on a very visceral level what that means.
Key issues for both unions include residual payments, which have been nearly wiped out by the switch to the streaming system, and the unpaid use of their work and likeness by artificial intelligence avatars. The actors' strikes shut down filming productions entirely, so here's a look at some of the notable movies and TV shows are on hold. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 2, Gladiator 2, Marvel's Deadpool 3, and Venom 3. The writer's strike almost had an immediate effect on late-night talk shows like Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel's shows, and TV series like Netflix, Stranger Things, Showtime's Yellow Jackets, and Apple TV's Severance are all on hold. And CBS is already adjusting. This fall, the network says it has new seasons of 60 Minutes and 48 Hours ready to go. And I mean, take a look at that list. So many different shows and movies that are extremely popular.
You think about this, so networks, you know, the shows air weekly usually, and so they're really in a bind because they have to come up with something. But the streaming services, I was talking with someone in the newsroom today, they said in 2022 there were 599 different series that were released just in 2022 across all streaming, not episodes, series. So you'll have years to watch on streaming if you want to, but networks are going to have a tough time.
Ooh, wow.
And I saw that, I think you mentioned it too, about Yellowstone. That is now going to be airing on CBS this year, which is never done before because they just need to fill some time slots. But
a lot of editing.
Right. Honestly, though, I've been trying to find the positive in this, and for me personally, the positive is that I get to catch up on so many shows that I just don't have time to watch. So if they're not coming out with new shows on Netflix and Hulu and fill in the blank, I can finally watch some of the shows that have been just kind of sitting in my list, if you will, because I can finally catch up on some things.
And I don't, you know, with the streaming services, they make you feel like you're late in the game sometimes, especially when you meet with people and they're like, have you watched this? Have you watched that? I have not watched it yet.
Yeah.
But I will.
I'm just now finishing Game of Thrones, and that's like 11 years old. Seriously.
I haven't even watched
It's
Game of Thrones.
crazy good. All right, we'll take a break. We're coming back.
You got to see this strange story out of the United Kingdom. Britain's King Charles has inherited an 800-year-old tradition.
Wow, it involves birds, old-fashioned boats, and a bit of math, too.
The King! The UK's newly crowned King Charles needs to keep his ducks in a row. That includes counting his swans. Every year, boatloads of workers round the birds up along England's River Thames in a tradition called swan upping.
We will then lift them out of the water, we will take them ashore, we weigh them, measure them, and most importantly, we check them for any injuries.
The royal responsibility dates to the 12th century, when the crown claimed all the wild swans in the land. Back then, it was more about making sure there was enough swan meat to eat at feasts and banquets. This is the first time in 70 years they're patrolling these waters in the name of a new monarch after the death of Queen Elizabeth.
The King is very, very interested in wildlife, conservation, so it's going to be marvelous, I think.
The swan census lasts for 5 days, covering a nearly 80-mile stretch of the river. But last year, tragedy struck in the form of bird flu.
We had many hundreds of swans on the Thames die over this, mainly in the larger flocks, which was a real disaster to us.
The count will reveal the health of the flock as King Charles takes them under his wing. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
And if that wasn't wild enough, listen to this. All the dolphins, whales, and other fish in the UK are also belonging to King Charles.
He owns all of the land and the nature.
And everything that's you can see and breathe. And
it's funny how they used to do that they counted them for meat, and now it's for the health and well-being of the swans, but whatever they are.
Very interesting. I mean, I'm all about honoring traditions, of course.
Yeah.
And I think it is, nice that they are taking care of them and checking the health of them and measuring them and all of that nature. And then,
it's all
letting
tradition there.
Yeah.
Centuries of it.
I can't help but laugh at the reporter when he said, and then tragedy struck.
Yeah,
the bird flu last year.
But they're back now. They're back in full force.
Thank goodness.
All right, yes, we can all sleep now. Let's take a look at our forecast, shall we? We've got some changes coming up. And for the better, by the weekend, we've just got to get there, right? We're going to see some low 90s here or there. In fact, right now we're at 88. But if you head down east, Raleigh 91, Fayetteville 92, Wilmington at 91 as well. And South Carolina, Columbia, always hot, it seems like there. I'm sure they're cooking at 5 points at 93 degrees. And the same story in Charleston as well. A couple of showers starting to develop back to the west, moving through parts of Wilkes County. That is pushing onto the southeast, so maybe Statesville and Iredell County. That area could be next in line within an hour or so. We do run the risk anytime we're in those upper 80s, low 90s, we could see a pop-up shower or two. That's why in the summertime you see at least a 20% chance on almost every day in our forecast. A couple of systems will skirt by us on the next couple of days, and that'll help with rain chances. It's a 40% chance for Wednesday and Thursday, most of those late day, and we'll hold in the upper 80s, close to 90, but 89 through that period. For the weekend, it looks better. The cold front clears us, probably lower humidities on the backside of that front, mid 80s, and a reduced 20% chance of a shower.
Hi, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota.
I like clothes. Hey, hi, we're talking about King Charles and how he owns all of your animals.
King Charles, you do not own me. You do not own my dog. You can own the fishes of the land.
Are you asking me for a mic check?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Hey, it's time for My 2 Cents, and if you saw my 2 Cents last week from the beach, you know that I was on vacation for about a week, and then now it's back to work. So I was thinking, man, how do you get back in to the vibe after you've been footloose and fancy free for a week? So I went to Forbes.com, they had some good tips. So think about this. Number one, schedule a day off before you actually come back to work. So for example, we came back on a Saturday, so I had Sunday to kind of get back into the groove. That made a huge difference for me. Forbes also said to write out your goals for the week, so like a to-do list. And I think really what that does is you can take that day before and kind of reorganize yourself and get ready to go. Now here's one that's tough for me. I don't know how it is for you, but do the most intimidating task first. I do that in most cases, but I don't know after a week of vacation if that's what I do the first day, but it does make sense. If you do the hardest first, you get that out of the way, mentally your mindset goes, oh, well, if I can do that, the rest of this is a piece of cake, and that is very true. To-do lists are very important, and if you're like me, I actually have to, writing something down, physically writing it down, not typing it, makes me remember it better. I don't know why, but that's what I do. But it is hard to get back into it. But my rule, not from Forbes.com, but my comment on this is just remember that at the farthest point of the work week, Friday is only 4 days away. And that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We start tonight with new details related to a deadly shooting that led to the closure of a popular Greensboro club.